Brad, that introduction was probably one of the most descriptive and, and visual introductions that I've heard in quite some time. I could smell the pies and the turkey, and I could hear the noise of all the people, just the visualization, and then the terror of that little boy when he was called to make that prayer, and the voice, the variety in your voice during that couple of minutes was just, it was almost as I was sitting at that table. So that was, certainly brought the crowd into what you were doing. The transition from that terror to the main body of the speech was excellent, because you first said, ask my brother about how he does it, and then, well, his answer wasn't good enough for you, so you sought out an expert to give you the advice on how to make say your prayer. And that's a real important part, is that you went to the expert. And so this sort of validated what you were about to say. The flip chart was real helpful, kind of kept everything in order, helps the audience understand it a little bit better. The one thing that I would use to improve that is on the first flip chart, when you were speaking, then I guess you thought that maybe you were going 1, 2, 3 down the list, but you jumped to the 4th item on the list. The one thing I think about flip charts is don't read from the flip chart, because the audience can read for themselves. So it's not, or I guess, it's not bad to flip around. And then secondly, I would always suggest not to apologize for something that you do in your speech, because most of the times the audience doesn't recognize that you've made a mistake, only you know that. So that would be 2 things that I would consider about improving the speech. Let's see, anything else here? Finally, it seemed that in the second transition between the body and the conclusion, there was some awkwardness. So it was as if you didn't really have a good transition as well as you did in the first one. So I would work on that if you plan on presenting this speech. And then in the conclusion, it's great to have a poem if you're going to use that to conclude your speech, but if you stumble in it, then it sort of lessens that. So that would be what I witnessed when I saw this, and I think that it was a great speech. It can be even better with those couple of improvements. Thanks.